Today I'm going to show you how I took my seashells going from this to this using acid for the first time. So first you need your seashells that you're going to clean, 2 containers of water, some tongs, your acid, and a mat for the shells to dry on. I am using Acid Magic for the first time, which is supposed to not burn intact skin, so I'm not wearing gloves, so don't come after me. I'm also outside because there are some fumes, even though there's 90% less fumes with this instead of regular muriatic acid. But you want to be in a ventilated area regardless. So you want to dilute your acid in water. It's usually 1 or 3 to 4 parts water to acid. And I'm starting out with a lightning milk. So you put it in the acid mix for about 3 to 5 seconds and then rinse it in just plain water. And it already looked really nice, I could tell right away. And look how beautiful these colors are, and that crusty like barnacle stuff that was on it is totally gone and burned off. This shell I was the most excited about because it's pretty covered in white. It's a giant shark's eye shell that I found a while ago, and I dipped it in the acid and then the water, and I noticed when I took it out of the water it still had a lot of white on it, so I decided to dip it again, and I left it in there a little longer and rinsed it again, and oh my goodness, the results were amazing. I couldn't believe how different it looked. It looked brand new, shiny. You could really see all the colors and all that white was gone, so very impressed right off the bat. Here's another lightning milk. It was a little more washed out, like it had been in the sun for a while. So I dipped it a little longer also, just to see if I could get some color back. I dipped it back in a few times, rinsed it, and it seemed to bring out the yellow and orange stripes a little more. It definitely was less washed out than when I first got it, but it was lighter than that other dark one. Very beautiful though. Love those orange stripes all the way down the side. This one I was also excited about. It's a cowrie shell that I found diving, and it had a lot of stuff on the back of it. So I dipped that and kind of swirled it around for a little bit longer than the other ones, and dipped it in water as well. And I could tell as soon as I dipped it in the water that you could see that color on the back. Very impressed with how well that worked for this too. So already very impressed with this Acid Magic stuff. I did a bunch of scallop shells as well that had some, crustiness on them. Dipped them a couple times, rinsed, and wow, the color just like really pops. Like, look how pretty orange that is. Dang. This one I was also excited about. I love a little alphabet cone or Florida cone, and it was kind of dull looking, so I dipped it in the acid in the water, and that orange bright color really popped after I did that. So very impressed with that one as well. I did a few more or another lightning milk that had some barnacles on it, and those fell right off, and you could really see the color pop out on this one as well. Beautiful. I love lightning milks. I think the stripes are just so pretty. A few more scallop shells. This one looked kind of dull looking, like kind of gray, and I could tell right after I dipped it in the acid that that bright dark orange really came out of the shell after getting that layer off. Here's another one looking a little gray, whitish. Dipped it, rinsed, and that bright orange popped right out. Beautiful. This one was interesting. So I had found this shark's tooth, and it had this like crusty, I don't even know what on it, and I couldn't get it off with bleach. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it with acid. I'm not sure it's gonna hurt the tooth, like it shouldn't, but I was like, why not? And I decided to just let it sit there for a few minutes because it had a lot of stuff on it, and it seemed to take a while. So I did another scallop shell in the meantime. Beautiful. Love those colors. And after about 6 minutes, I could tell that like that crustiness had come off. So I was very excited. Rinsed it in water. And look, it's like brand new. And that stuff is like totally gone. So now I can make that into jewelry. All around, I was very impressed with this Acid Magic stuff. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon. 10 out of 10. Would definitely do this again.